Judith Maria and welcome to SG Global News. From the Holy Father's message of condolence following the tragic plane crash on a London-bound flight from Ahmedabad, India, to the confirmation of 221 adult conversions to Catholicism in France, we have many stories to cover. Pope Leo XIV extended his condolences and prayers for the victims of the Air India flight carrying 242 people on board to London, which crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad, India. Pope Leo XIV offered his condolences and prayers for the victims of London-bound plane crash in India. The Air India flight 171 took off from Ahmedabad on June 12 with 242 people bound for London Gatwick Airport. The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner crashed into a residential area near the airport shortly after takeoff, reportedly striking the BJ Medical College Hospital. Images and videos circulating on social media and broadcast by local television showed thick smoke with debris engulfed in flames. Pope Leo XIV conveyed his heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of those who perished in the crash. In a telegram signed by Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin, the Pope expressed that he was deeply saddened by the tragedy involving an Air India aircraft near Ahmedabad. The Holy Father offered prayers for all those affected by the disaster, including those involved in the recovery efforts, and entrusted the souls of the deceased to the mercy of the Almighty. According to the Reuters news agency, the airplane was carrying 169 Indians, 53 Britons, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian. Passengers included 217 adults, 11 children and 2 infants. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi described the crash as heartbreaking beyond words, stating that the tragedy in Ahmedabad has stunned and saddened us, and expressing solidarity with all those affected. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also responded, calling the incident devastating in an official statement. In a tragic blow to Ukraine's cultural heritage, a Russian airstrike has damaged the 11th century St. Sophia Cathedral in Kyiv. More than 315 Russian drones were launched on Kyiv and Odessa, killing up to 7 people and injuring around 13. The powerful blast damaged the corners of the cathedral's main apse. The cathedral, recognized for its architectural significance, was added to UNESCO's World Heritage List in 1990. Russian airstrikes damages 11th century Holy Wisdom Cathedral in Kyiv. The cathedral is a UNESCO World Heritage Site which serves as the mother church of all Christians who trace their roots to ancient Rus Catholics and Orthodox. More than 315 drones were launched by Russia on Kyiv and Odessa, resulting in the deaths of up to 7 people and injuring around 13. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the attack as one of the largest attacks on the capital since the war began 3 years ago. According to Ukrainian Culture Minister Mykola Tochesky, the blast damaged the corners on the main apse of the cathedral. Pieces of white plaster crumbled to the ground with a gap visible in a section of the cornice. Metropolitan Boris Gutsiak, Archbishop of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Archieparchy of Philadelphia, said that Russia's invasion of Ukraine and relentless daily bombing spared nothing and no one. He continued, "The Cathedral of the Holy Wisdom, also known as St. Sophia Cathedral, is a sacred place and has withstood invasions and communist persecutions for 1,000 years. Archbishop Gutsiak urged all who understand to pray for just and lasting peace, one that ensures the safety of innocent people, safeguards their churches, preserves their identity and way of life, and secures the return of tens of thousands of abducted children." The Ukrainian Council of Churches released a statement condemning the attack on the cathedral and calling on the entire civilized world to take all necessary actions to halt the barbaric acts committed by the Russian Federation. Ever since Russia's invasion, 670 churches and houses of worship has been destroyed, and 60 clergy members from various churches and religious organizations have been murdered. Before the massive attack on the cathedral, Russia launched 500 drones and 20 missiles towards central and western Ukraine. Russia claimed that the attacks were retaliation of the June 1st Ukrainian drone strikes that targeted several Russian air bases. According to the UNESCO's World Heritage Site, the cathedral was added to UNESCO's World Heritage List in 1990 for its architectural importance. In a historic move, Pope Leo XIV has appointed an underground bishop, Joseph Lin Yuntan, an auxiliary bishop of Fuzhou in China's Fujian province. This marks the Pope's first episcopal appointment in the mainland China and comes under the framework of Sino-Vatican Provisional Agreement. Bishop Lin, who was clandestinely consecrated in 2017, received civil recognition from Chinese authorities on June 11th.
Pope Leo XIV has appointed an underground bishop, Monsignor Joseph Lin Yuntuan, as auxiliary bishop of Fuzhou Diocese in the Chinese province of Fujian. According to a statement released by the Holy See Press Office, the recognition of the civil effects and the taking of possession of the office of Monsignor Joseph Lin Yuntuan took place on Wednesday, June 11th. The appointment, made on June 5, 2025, is Pope Leo's first episcopal nomination in mainland China. The Holy See attributes the appointment to the fruits of the Sino-Vatican Provisional Agreement, first signed in September 2018 and renewed for a third time in 2024. The agreement governs the process of bishop appointments in China, seeking to bridge decades of tension over ecclesiastical authority between the Vatican and Beijing. Bishop Lin, born in Fuqing, Fujian in 1953, was clandestinely consecrated on December 28, 2017. Before his appointment, he served as apostolic administrator ad nutum sancte sedis, that is, at the disposition of the Holy See, due to the long-standing conflict of ecclesiastical jurisdiction in China. Until this week, his episcopal ordination had not been recognized by the Chinese authorities. This appointment represents a notable departure from the usual practice under the current Sino-Vatican Agreement, where candidates are generally proposed by Chinese authorities and later confirmed by the Vatican. According to the pillar, Bishop Lin's appointment came at the behest of Fuzhou's Archbishop Joseph Tsai Bingui, who was installed as head of the Archdiocese in January and is well regarded by the local state officials. In a statement on Wednesday, Matteo Bruni, director of the Holy See Press Office, also expressed his pleasure at the recognition of the episcopal ministry of Bishop Joseph Lin Yuntuan for the purposes of civil law. He further added that, quote, "This event constitutes a further fruit of the dialogue between the Holy See and the Chinese authorities and is an important step in the journey of communion of the diocese," end quote. According to Agencia Fides, Bishop Lin formally took possession of the office in an official ceremony presided over by Vincent Shan Sailu, Bishop of Mindong, and attended by representatives of the Bishops' Conference, the Patriotic Association, and the Religious Affairs Committee of the province. During the ceremony, Bishop Lin declared his commitment to the Constitution and his desire to help everyone love the country and the Church, to proclaim the gospel and promote the unity of the country in harmony by following the principles of syncretization. The ceremony was followed by a Holy Mass presided over by Joseph Tsai Bingui, Bishop of Fuzhou, and concelebrated by bishops from the dioceses of Fujian province. 80 priests, 200 religious sisters, and many lay faithful also participated in the ceremony. In contrast, during the city vacancy in April, the Chinese authorities unilaterally appointed 2 priests as new bishops. As of now, the Holy See has not ratified these appointments.
Ireland is set to be reconsecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus on the Feast of Corpus Christi on June 22nd in a historic ceremony at the National Shrine in Knock. This marks the first national consecration in 150 years since Ireland became the first country to be consecrated to the Sacred Heart in 1873. The event will be led by Archbishop Eamon Martin and will include the veneration of relics of Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque and Saint Claude de la Colombière and the arrival of pilgrim statues from the Sacred Heart Crusade.
On Sunday, June 22nd, the Feast of Corpus Christi, Ireland will be reconsecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus in a solemn ceremony at the Eucharistic and Marian Shrine in Knock for the first time in 150 years. Archbishop Eamon Martin, Archbishop of Armagh and Primate of all Ireland, will preside over the Holy Mass and the subsequent act of consecration. In a video message, Archbishop Martin invited all the people of Ireland to join in the act of consecration in a spirit of unity.
Hello everybody, Archbishop Eamon Martin here, and as we have entered the month of June, the month of the Sacred Heart, I want to invite you to join us in prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and also to let you know that on the 22nd of June at the Basilica in Knock, I will be consecrating Ireland to the most Sacred Heart of Jesus. This is a very beautiful act, but I know myself personally that it's pretty pointless to do that unless I'm joined by you, the people of God in this country, and that you yourselves personally dedicate your lives to the Sacred Heart, your families, your homes, your parish, and indeed together we dedicate our country to the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Ireland was first consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus on Passion Sunday, March 30th, 1873, becoming the first nation in the world to do so. According to the Irish Messenger of the Sacred Heart, by 1937, nearly 1 million Irish faithful had consecrated themselves personally to the Sacred Heart. This deeply cherished devotion among the Irish will be renewed on the Feast of Corpus Christi in Knock. The occasion will also feature the veneration of relics of St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, to whom Jesus revealed his Sacred Heart, and of her spiritual director, St. Claude de la Colombière. The year 2025 marks the 350th anniversary of the Sacred Heart revelations. The Great Revelation reportedly took place during the octave of Corpus Christi in June 1675, when Jesus said to St. Margaret Mary, "Behold the heart which is so loved the men that it has spared nothing." A Sacred Heart crusade with 4 pilgrim Sacred Heart statues, which had commenced from Rome with papal blessing on 8th January 2025, will arrive in Knock for the consecration. These statues have been journeying through Ireland's 4 provinces, visiting as many parish clusters as possible. After the reconsecration, the statues will continue their pilgrimage across the country.
Statues of Sacred Heart of Jesus and Virgin Mary at St. Martha's Church in Texas were discovered beheaded around 10:30 p.m. on June 7th. According to Montgomery County officials, a search is underway for the suspect who is responsible for the vandalism. The statues of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Virgin Mary were found beheaded at St. Martha's Catholic Church in Woodridge Parkway, Texas. The Montgomery County officials are searching for a suspect involved in the vandalism of the 2 statues. According to authorities, the incident occurred at 10:30 p.m. on June 7th. The heads of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Virgin Mary statues were knocked off and stolen. The sheriff's office reported that the suspect was wearing a headlamp and a black shirt with white lettering on the back. Surveillance footage shows that the subject driving a grey or silver hatchback or a small SUV, which was last seen entering the Woodridge subdivision. At this time, no further information about the suspect is available. Montgomery County is asking the public to come forward with any information that could help identify the suspect. Tips can be shared with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office or multi-county crime stoppers. The Sheriff's Office have also shared the media advisory on their Facebook page to get a prompt response from the public. On Pentecost Vigil, the Diocese of Versailles, France, celebrated the confirmation of 221 adults in 2 solemn ceremonies. Presided over by Bishop Luke Creppy, the liturgies were held at St. Louis Cathedral and the Collegiate Church of Mantes, drawing over 4,000 attendees. The event reflects a wider trend in France, where adult conversions to Catholicism are on the rise.
A total of 221 adults received the sacrament of confirmation in the Dasis of Versailles, France, during Pentecost weekend. Confirmation, the 3rd final sacrament of Christian initiation, completes baptismal grace and strengthens the recipient's bond with the Church. In many dioceses, adults are typically confirmed around Pentecost. This year, the Dasis of Versailles welcomed adult confirmands in 2 separate ceremonies held on the Vigil of Pentecost. The celebrations, presided over by Monsignor Luke Creppy, Bishop of Versailles, took place at St. Louis Cathedral and the Collegial Church of Mantes. Over 4,000 people, including family members and friends, attended the 2 ceremonies. Earlier this year, 10,384 adult catechumens were received into the Catholic Church across France during the Easter Vigil, an increase of 45% compared to 2024. By contrast, in 2016, only 4,124 adult catechumens were reported, according to the French report.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.